Hello everyone and welcome to another video. So in this one, we're going to be taking a look at the SQL injection vulnerability on Pentester Lab. So now we are in the SQL injection series. This is going to be the SQL injection series, so let's get started. So right off the bat, if we go up to the top, we've got SQL injections list. We've got the list of SQL injections. So let's get started and do example 1. We've got an application which has a table of a user called root. Their user ID is number 2, and we've got age, which is not really relevant to us at this moment. What can we do here? Well, if we identify this URL up the top on my virtual machine, what I would like to show you is something like this. So if I do sudo nano, I'll just say some random stuff here. I want to show you the URL. The URL is what's important. So what do you notice about this URL? So this URL here has the example 1 using PHP, of course, and we can see the name parameter here is equal to root. So that means, how do we test to see if this is vulnerable? Well, let's take this URL, get rid of the root, target the parameter, and let's inject malicious SQL queries here in the parameter. And you're probably thinking, well, Declan, why would an application have that? The reason why an application would have something like this, if you even do find one that has this vulnerability, the problem is the fact that you can inject stuff into the parameter. So if the parameter isn't filtered and it doesn't have anything that's filtered, sometimes, it might be like a booking application that might have like a filtering system, or it might be something to do with the parameter which you can use to search something on a website that could be injectable. Or maybe you visit a page and it has something that can be equal to, let's say, a page ID. So you could be on like page 2, right? So this could be like a different page, or it could be like something index, or it could be something like the about page or whatever. So there could be anything in the parameter as well, which can also render the page. So for example, if it was like something to do with the page and it is equal to something like booking.php or book.php or book search or whatever. It could be something like that. But in this case, it's a name parameter, and this parameter could be absolutely anything. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this URL. I'm going to click copy link address. Let's go out of nano because we don't need it. Now we are going to perform a SQL injection attack. So to just speed up the process here, instead of doing SQL injections, manually, like where we have to write out a SQL code to perform a attack, or we could just do something so random, we could just use SQL map to perform a automated attack against the URL. Go ahead and paste in the URL. And what I want you to do is add, let's say, batch to ignore errors. And let's see what we can find if it is injectable. But most importantly, I want to type in the dump parameter here so we can see more information about it. So right away, it's trying different queries behind the scenes, like different long strings of characters to see which one is vulnerable. And it's using different versions, such as testing Microsoft, etc. By the way, right away, it's already dumped the table. It's already dumped the information from the database onto our terminal. This is vulnerable, so now it's exposed. Now I know what the admin is, and now I know what the admin's password is. So that's the vulnerability. It's the fact that we can inject malicious queries. This is the parameter that we injected into. This was the query which worked against it to dump that information. So we didn't have to type out this long string just to dump out that information, because this is the payload that was used and injected into the backend of MySQL. Pretty awesome, right? So that's the real cool thing about SQL map. And you can see here it also tells us that the get parameter name is union query, and it is injectable. Amazing. And you can see here it's performed that attack using this long string of a query to dump that information we see here. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next example.